Hi, my name is Cassie Johnson, and I am a Senior Associate in Alston & Bird's Litigation and Trial Practice Group. Today, I will be providing an overview of recent case law and practice tips on removal to federal court. The first step in the removal process is determining when the removal deadline is. Under Section 1446, removal is 30 days after the receipt of the complaint through service or otherwise. Courts have generally interpreted this requirement as formal service from the plaintiff, although technical deficiencies in service do not toll the clock. Typically, notice that a defendant receives suit through a docket tracker or their own counsel will not start the removal clock. In addition, removal requires the consent of all served defendants. Removal is proper when a defendant can show that jurisdiction in federal court is appropriate based on a federal question, diversity jurisdiction, or under the Class Action Fairness Act, referred to as CAFA. Often, defendants have to engage in their own analysis of the amount in controversy to demonstrate that diversity jurisdiction or jurisdiction under CAFA are appropriate. Under the Supreme Court's 2014 ruling in Dart, Cherokee, a defendant's notice of removal need include only a plausible allegation that the amount in controversy exceeds the jurisdictional threshold. A notice of removal is not required to contain evidentiary submissions. However, if a plaintiff challenges removal through a remand motion, then both sides have the opportunity to present evidence. The court decides whether removal was proper by a preponderance of the evidence, and this is a standard akin to summary judgment. Since 2014, appellate courts have been consistent in applying the Dart Cherokee framework, and they have mostly been generous to defendants, particularly if a plaintiff does not come forward with its own evidence. So how can a defendant prove that jurisdictional requirements are met? Well, first, a defendant can rely on allegations in the complaint. Second, a defendant can submit declarations establishing, for example, the number of putative class members, the total potential damages, and the defendant's citizenship. And third, a defendant can submit documentary evidence. One word of caution, it is worth noting that courts have found that materials submitted in support of removal can be used later in the case against the defendant, such as for supporting class certification and in attorney's fees requests.